This anime begins by showing a scene where a teenage boy named Gata Kusanagi is traveling to Sardinia City in Italy to return an artifact stone inscription to a woman. The artifact stone was once borrowed by Gata's grandfather, an archaeologist who often researches rare artifacts worldwide. On the way to the artifact stone owner's house, Gata met a girl named Erica Blandeli, who claimed to be one of the knights of the Black Copper Cross Academy. Erica asked him to hand over the magic heirloom that Gata was carrying at the time, but he refused because it was an artifact stone that he had to return to someone. During that conversation, a monster dubbed the Heretic God suddenly appeared in the middle of the city, and Erica immediately rushed to stop the monster. She jumped into the car driven by her female assistant, Ariana Hayama, and rushed toward the center of the city to fight against the Heretic God. On the other hand, Gata seemed to be running scared and trying to avoid the chaos caused by the Heretic God, but he suddenly slipped, and the artifact stone he had previously carried fell to the ground. A boy named Varathagna suddenly appeared to take the artifact stone and asked Gata who the owner of the heirloom was. Gata, confused by the boy's language, then asked who the boy was and his purpose in coming to that place. Varathagna called himself a Campione, a hero who defeated all the gods in the world and heavenly realms. Varathagna confessed that he was the one who had summoned the Heretic God into the world because he wanted to fight again, and wanted to know what it felt like to lose. So far, there has never been a god or knight who could defeat him, making him want to challenge all the gods of the world to get a taste of what defeat is. Gata, who did not understand what Varathagna had just said, chose not to ask further and asked him to return the artifact stone because he had to return it to someone. Varathagna couldn't help but laugh at Gata's words because the real owner of the artifact stone was himself. Varathagna then handed the artifact stone to Gata and asked him to take good care of the heirloom. Shortly after he left, a white horse suddenly appeared behind Gata and entered the stone's steel after the two objects emitted a very bright light. At the same time, Erica, still fighting the Heretic God, was suddenly blown away from a height and fell from the top of the building. Fortunately, Gata, on the balcony then, immediately caught her hand and saved her. Shortly after, a tornado appeared in the center of the city. The demon lord suddenly disappeared, and the situation in the city was safe again. Erica then explained to Gata that the Heretic God was one of the signs that soon there would be a great disaster threatening the world. Besides the Heretic gods, several other gods from Greek mythology can bring about great disasters, such as the sea god, who can bring flash floods, the sun god, who can bring a long drought, and the god of war, who can bring about war. However, only people with magical powers could see the disaster god, while ordinary humans could not see all the gods directly and could only feel their existence as a natural disaster. In the afternoon, Erica took Gata to the house of Lucretia Zola, one of the greatest witches from Sardinia City, who is the owner of the artifact stone. After arriving at Zola's house, Gata immediately handed the artifact stone to Zola, who was with her beloved black cat then. Afterward, she tells him that the artifact stone is not an ordinary artifact but a magic item called the magic heirloom of Prometheus. After Zola checked the heirloom, she realized that Gata had previously met with Varathagna, so she decided to give the magic heirloom to Gata. Erica seemed surprised to hear her decision and said that Gata still couldn't control the heirloom because he still didn't know anything about magic. That night, Zola tells Gata that the hidden magic treasure belongs to Prometheus, a knight who has deceived many gods and stolen all the powers of all the gods he has ever met. All the magic power of every god defeated by Prometheus will enter the heirloom, and one of the stored magical forms is the white horse that Gata had previously seen. Zola then tells Gata more about Erica, one of the most genius students in the Black Copper Cross Magic Academy assigned to defeat many disaster gods. The next morning, a heavy rainstorm suddenly hit Sardinia City, and it turned out that the disaster was caused by the god of the ruler of the Mediterranean Sea named Melkart. Seeing the situation, Erica and Gata immediately rushed to the city's beach to stop the chaos caused by god Melkart. At the same time, Varathagna, the god of war who had managed to steal the power of the 10 gods, appeared and challenged god Melkart. Varathagna is Prometheus, the owner of the magic heirloom that Zola previously told Gata. Zola said that Varathagna had given possession of the magic heirloom to Gata when he met Gata yesterday. That is why he chose to give the magic heirloom to Gata, because he has become the second owner of the heirloom. Just as god Melkart and Varathagna were about to fight, Erica suddenly appeared and asked them to stop the fight. Gata shows Varathagna's magic heirloom to god Melkart and asks him to form an alliance so that they can defeat Varathagna together. After hearing that god Melkart approved of Gata, Varathagna felt happy because he had chosen the right person as the controller of the heirloom. Apparently, he purposely gave the magic heirloom to Gata so he could taste defeat for the first time. Soon after, Varathagna attacked Erica and Gata with the power of lightning, but the attack was repelled by the magic shield of god Melkart. After failing the first attack, Varathagna took out his golden sword to destroy the magic shield. When Erika saw the golden sword, she remembered that it was a magic sword that could steal the power of any god so that God Melkart could lose his power. Soon after, Erika asked Gada to leave the place because the current situation was getting more dangerous. But he insists on continuing the fight and defeats Varathagna using the magic heirloom. Even after Erika warned him that an ordinary human like him could die if he failed to control the power of the magic heirloom, Gada persisted. Seeing Gada's great determination, Erika helped him with a kiss to give him magical energy. After that, he raised the magic relic towards Varathagna and tried to take the golden sword from Varathagna's hand. After Gada managed to steal the golden sword, he immediately killed Varathagna with the golden sword and took the position of a 7th-generation Campione. In the end, after repeatedly tasting victory without ever tasting defeat once, Varathagna was finally killed with his own weapon. In his sleep, Gada met a goddess named Pandora, who said that Gada was a Campione who would defeat all the gods and become an invincible hero. He wakes up after hearing the alarm and rushes to school because he is almost late. Now Gada has returned to Japan and is still living a normal day after his fight with Varathagna 1 week ago. His younger sister, Shizuka Kusanagi, begins to feel very jealous of Erika, who keeps clinging to him. When Gada arrived at school, one of his classmates named Bhishma told him that a girl from Italy would transfer to their class that day. At first, Gada seemed disinterested in the story because he was still thinking about his relationship with his little sister, which was still deteriorating. But after he realized that the transfer student was Erika, he panicked and was shocked. During the panic, Erika entered the classroom and began introducing herself in front of all the students. She said that she was Gada's future wife, and those words made all the students look at him. After Erika took a seat from a female student and sat next to Gada, all the boys looked annoyed that a poor student like him could win the heart of a girl as beautiful as Erika. Gada, who became increasingly panicked, decided to take Erika out of the class, but it turned out that the girl he took was his female classmate Yuri Maria. On the other hand, a man named Dejanstal Vobin, the 1st-generation Campione, had heard the news about the appearance of a 7th-generation Campione. He sent a shrine maiden named Liliana Kranjar to find the Campione and seize the magic treasure. Back to Yuri, who met Gada with a man named Amakasa at a temple. Amakasa is a historical truth-gathering guild member responsible for supervising Japanese people with magical abilities. It turns out that Yuri has found out that Gada is one of the Campione who has magical powers because she is one of the shrine maidens who can predict future destiny. Since Gada became a Campione, Yuri continued to be polite to him, so he became uncomfortable and asked her to act normally like a friend. Amakasa then tells Gada that Erika is a 16-year-old red devil who can easily conquer anyone's heart. Because of that, she rarely lets other people get close to her, but recently, Erika started to approach Gada and continued to follow him everywhere. Amakasa suspected that Erika actually approached him with a specific purpose, namely for Gada, who is a Campione, to join the Black Copper Cross Academy organization. After returning from the temple, Gada kept thinking about Amakasa's words and began to think that Erika had other intentions of approaching him. When he saw Erika, who suddenly appeared in his bedroom, Gada looked surprised and immediately asked why she had come to Japan. Erika teases him and invites him on a date for a day to prove that she really genuinely likes him. That night, Erika took Gada to teleport to a tower of the Colosseum in Rome, Italy, and let him wait alone there. Shortly after, Gada saw a little girl named Pallas Athena, who asked him to return the magic of the snake that had been stolen by Varathagna. Surprisingly, when Erika approached Gada with 3 men, Athena suddenly disappeared without a trace. The 3 men were members of the Italian Magic Guild who wanted to see Gada's power. Erika immediately attacked Gada with her sword, while Gada brought out the magic of the magic heirloom in the form of a white bull and a predatory lion. The 3 men seemed impressed with his skill in controlling the magic of each of the powers in the magic heirloom. But there are important things that Gada must know. He can only use the magic of the white horse's fire to scatter ordinary humans, and the golden sword can only be active after he knows his enemy's ability. Afterward, Erika unleashed Golgotha's vortex attack with her magic sword, so Gada used more power to repel the attack. Unfortunately, when he unleashed the power of a giant wild boar, Gada still had trouble controlling the magic, so he destroyed the Colosseum Tower so that Erika wouldn't get hurt. After the test, Erika told him to use his magic carefully because each magic can only be used once a day. Seeing Gada's abilities, the 3 men of the Italian Magic Alliance began to believe in entrusting the magic heirloom to him and believed that he was really the next Campione. Before Gada, 6 people had become Campione and defeated the gods of disaster for generations. The 6 people are John Pluto Smith, Holy Riga, Dark Lord, Queen Aisha, Salvatore Dan, and Duke Vobin, as the 1st-generation Campione. The 3 councils said something about the prophecy of a starless night that would become an important moment for all the champions. After the fight ended, Erika approached Gada and told him that she approached him because she really loved him, not because of orders from anyone. After that, she took out a silver medal and showed it to him, saying that the world's fate rests with the medal. Unbeknownst to them, Liliana silently watched them and scouted their every move. On the other hand, Amikasa goes to meet Yuri and asks for her help to keep an eye on Gada because the worst disaster in the history of mankind is about to happen, and it involves his power. At the same time, Athena comes to Japan and wanders around the city where Gada lives after she senses the presence of Jorgonian, the snake's power in the silver medal. The next day at school, Yuri invited Gada to talk alone on the school roof to discuss something very important. She said that she got a rumor about Gada, who had brought Jorgonian to Japan, and she was tasked with confirming that the rumor was false. Yuri explains that the Jorgonian is a sacred relic capable of wreaking havoc on the world and that it should be carefully guarded against falling into the wrong person. Afterward, Gada asked her about the object's shape, and Yuri explained that it was shaped like a medal with a Medusa snake engraved on it. Hearing that, he showed the silver medal Erika had previously given while in Rome the other day. Yuri then invites Gada to a temple and tells about the prophecy of a starless night, a phenomenon where the world turns into hell because the gods of destruction have managed to get their magic back and create damage in the world. The prophecy was delivered by a high-ranking shrine maiden named Alice, and all of her predictions have never been wrong. And the Jorgonian medal they currently have is a magic heirloom that will turn the god of destruction into an all-powerful and invincible one. Hearing this, Gada suggested that they destroy the medal so no god could use it. Unfortunately, that couldn't be done because the silver medal had very powerful holy magic, and the only thing they could do was seal the medal. Shortly after, Erika informed him that she had entrusted the medal to Gada. The final outcome or fate of the medal will ultimately depend on Gada, who is the Campione who must defeat all the gods of disaster. In the middle of their conversation, Athena suddenly appeared and took Gada with Erika to another place, while Yuri was left alone in the temple with the silver medal. After that, Athena issued Erika's first attack and forced Erika to cast barrier magic. At that moment, Athena approached Gada and spread the poison of death to him through a kiss. Seeing this, Erika felt angry and moved quickly to attack her. On the other hand, Liliana tried to snatch the Jorgonian medal from Yuri's hands and almost attacked Yuri with her sword. Fortunately, Amikasa came just in time to stop Liliana and immediately took Yuri away from the place. Back to Gada and Erika, who had managed to escape and survive Athena's deadly poison thanks to the power of the sheep from Gada's magic heirloom. After the terrible incident, Erika told him about the power possessed by the Jorgonian medal so that he could activate the golden sword. The Jorgonian medal is the embodiment of the power of Medusa in Greek mythology, where she was killed by a child of a god named Perseus. Athena is the child of the god Zeus, the king of all kings, while her mother is the goddess Metis, the goddess of wisdom. Medusa has the same power as the goddess Metis, and the name Medusa has the same meaning as the goddess Metis, namely wisdom. When Medusa has been successfully killed, Perseus presents Medusa's head to Athena to serve as a protective shield for her. Athena then has a strong bond with Medusa's power because Medusa has many similarities with Metis, her mother. After telling all that, Erika and Gada suddenly saw the darkness that began to surround Tokyo, and the phenomenon caused a power outage in Tokyo. At the same time, Yuri and Amikasa decided to hide from running away from Athena, who wanted to win the Jorgonian medal. Meanwhile, Athena begins to send dozens of owls to chase after Gada and Erika, who are escaping by car. Afterward, Gada contacted Yuri and advised her to remove the medal if the situation escalated. However, as a shrine maiden, she refused to give up the medal easily and chose to keep it to the end. On the other hand, Amikasa was forced to leave Yuri alone in the temple because he had to find someone else who could help them seal the medallion. Unfortunately, not long after Amikasa left, Athena found Yuri and threatened her to immediately hand over the medal. Fortunately, when Athena was about to attack Yuri, Liliana came and immediately blocked the attack with all her might. However, because Athena's magic power was too strong, they could be easily defeated. After Athena merged with the medal, she began to transform into an adult woman and became stronger. Seeing that, Yuri, who started to panic, kept calling Gada's name and hoped that he would come soon to stop Athena. When Yuri almost fainted from inhaling Athena's poison, Gada arrived just in time and saved her with the golden sword. After that, Gada asked Erika to take Yuri to a safe place while he fought Athena alone. After he got all the information regarding her strength, Gada started swinging his golden sword and summoned thousands of swords from the sky. In the dimension of the world of swords created by Gada, he can destroy supernatural beings that are under Athena's control. Even his golden sword could penetrate Athena's protective shield. Unfortunately, the power of the 1,000 golden swords couldn't last long, and Athena could easily turn things around and put Gada under pressure. Gada then unleashed the power of a white horse to eliminate Athena's power of darkness before he finally stabbed her body with the spear given by Erica. After a very fierce battle, Gada finally managed to defeat Athena and make her return to her original form. Looks like he chose to give her a second chance by letting her live, and that decision made Athena respect Gadu. After the fight ended, Erica approached Gada and informed him everything was going according to plan. Erica explains that she deliberately gave the medal to Gadu and lures Athena to Japan so that the other Campiones don't interfere with their fight and Gadu can steal Athena's magic. That night, Amakasa reports to the guild organization that Gadu has succeeded in defeating Athena and prevented the prediction of the world's destruction. The next morning, Yuri came to Gadu's house and asked him to stay away from Erica because she considered Erica a bad influence on him. As a result, Gadu was fought over by two beautiful girls in front of Shizuka, which obviously annoyed her. Since then, Erica and Yuri have constantly been competing to get close to Gadu and get his attention. But after a few days, Erica finally got used to Yuri's presence around Gadu because Yuri's sixth sense ability could help him. After school, he invites Yuri to buy a new cell phone, so they can inform each other in case of danger in the future. After Gadu returned home, Salvatore Doni, who turned out to be his best friend, a Campione, suddenly contacted him. Doni asks Gadu about a Campione named Vauban, the oldest Campione with hundreds of wolf slaves and who can control other creatures with his eyes. Gadu admitted that he had only heard of Vauban's name from the three witch councils in Italy, but he didn't know anything about that person. Doni then explains that Vauban is one of the greatest Campioni, capable of creating a huge tornado and enslaving the dead to the undead. Doni hears that Vauban is currently in Japan, so he asks Gadu to fight him. Hearing this, the panicked Gadu immediately contacted Erica to inform her about it. On the other hand, Liliana secretly sneaked into Yuri's house, who was currently taking a warm bath in the bathroom. It turned out that Liliana was assigned by Duke Vauban to kidnap Yuri and bring her in front of him. As a result, when Gadu tried to contact Yuri, she didn't answer because her cell phone was left at home. When Yuri woke up and saw Vauban, she looked surprised and scared because she had to meet that person again. 4 years ago, Yuri and several other shrine maidens had been asked by Vauban to perform the ritual of summoning the heretic god. Vauban said he felt very disappointed after learning that Athena had been defeated by Gadu and Princess Alice's prediction about the destruction of the world failed to come true. Therefore, Vauban plans to force Yuri to perform the ritual of summoning the god of disaster once again, and even intends to summon all beings from the afterlife to become his slaves. At that moment, she realized that Vauban had killed the god Osiris, who had been tasked with protecting the afterlife. On the other hand, Gadu and Erica had received word from Amakasa that it was most likely that Yuri had been kidnapped by Vauban. Soon after, Gadu rushes to Vauban's headquarters with Erica, who turns out to know Vauban's secret base when he visited Japan 4 years ago. After Erica managed to get rid of the guards, Erica told Gadu not to use his magic first. Gadu must save all that magic from fighting against Vauban because Vauban is the cruelest and most dangerous Campione. After that, they had to fight the golems, and luckily, Erica knew how to defeat them golems easily. After overcoming several obstacles, Gadu and Erica finally met Vauban, who had been guarded by several wild wolves. Gadu asked Vauban to immediately release Yuri, but he refused because, for Vauban, she was a very rare precious object. If Gadu wants to take her, he must replace her with another shrine maiden who can summon the gods. After Vauban showed Yuri and Liliana in front of Gadu and Erica, he invited Gadu to play a game usually played by kings. He will let Gadu take Yuri with him and hide wherever Gadu wants. If Vauban fails to find them by the sun rising tomorrow morning, he will release Yuri. That night, Gadu and Erica rushed to take Yuri to a safe hiding place, with the hope that Vauban would never be able to find them until dawn and Yuri could be freed from Vauban's restraints. But besides that problem, they had to find a way to find out the power Vauban had because he had killed many gods before Erica's organization was formed, and she couldn't get any information about his supernatural powers. Yuri, who feels guilty for this incident, asks them to let her return to Vauban and follow his wishes so that everything will be fine. But Erica, knowing that the god summoning ritual was very dangerous, refused to let Yuri go. Erica knows that Yuri and 29 other shrine maidens were gathered 4 years ago by Vauban to perform a god summoning ritual at a shrine. But unfortunately, most of the shrine maidens who performed the ritual suffered very serious injuries, and some even died. Yuri became the only girl who survived the ritual because Liliana saved her, and Yuri had a very strong sixth sense of power. An hour later, dozens of wild wolves belonging to Vauban started chasing their car, and Erica immediately killed the wolves with strength. But not long after, Vauban appeared in front of them, along with hundreds of creatures from the afterlife, and Gadu had no choice but to fight him. Soon after, Gadu got rid of Vauban's army using the firepower of the white horse, but the attack had no effect on him. Gadu, who still didn't know Vauban's power, decided to retreat while taking Yuri to a safe place. Meanwhile, Erika will try to fight to defeat Vauban's remaining troops. When Gata and Yuri hid, she tried to help heal the pain in his chest with her magic power. At that moment, Yuri saw Vauban, and she realized that his power did not come from darkness. At the same time, after Erika defeated Vauban's army, she had to face off against Liliana, who had sworn allegiance to Vauban. While fighting against Liliana, Erika tried to recite the poems she had found in Liliana's room. That tactic embarrassed her, and she chose not to continue the fight to keep it a secret. Shortly before Gata met Vauban, Yuri had time to tell about the source of Vauban's power that she had seen through her sixth sense. After discovering Vauban's information and getting magical energy from Erika, Gata started to feel confident and immediately prepared to face him. Soon after, Vauban turns into a half-wolf, but Gata has successfully activated the 1,000 golden swords because he knows that Vauban is the embodiment of the wolf god. With the impact of thousands of golden swords aimed directly at Vauban's body, Gata finally managed to defeat him and return him to his human form. Unfortunately, Vauban still has another power, to summon an army of creatures from the afterlife to attack Gata's group. Yuri, who saw this, immediately kissed Gata to tell him about Vauban's power from God Osiris. After knowing this, Gata again brought Vauban to the Golden Sword dimension and immediately stole Vauban's God Osiris power. In the final battle, Vauban uses the power of the weather god, while Gata uses the power of a sheep so that Erika and the others can help him. After a fierce battle all night, Gata defeated Vauban, even though he was still not dead. A few days later, when Gata and the girls were on vacation on an island in Italy, he accidentally met Athena, who invited him to sail together. Meanwhile, Doni was in a temple in the city of Naples and stood in front of a pillar of a statue that glowed green. When Doni was about to touch the pillar, Liliana suddenly appeared and stopped him because the pillar was the seal of the goddess Hera. Since the Gorgonian medallion was found a few months ago, the pillar has continuously emitted extremely powerful magical power. However, Doni chose to ignore Liliana's warning and split the pillar in half so that the pillar emitted a green light that shot through the sky. Gata and Athena, who happened to be sailing on the sea, saw the light, and a giant dragon suddenly appeared around Naples Island. Then, when Liliana was about to catch a giant dragon, she instead met a young man who claimed to be the god Perseus who intended to kill the dragon. She tried to prevent Perseus from killing the dragon because the dragon's death could destroy the balance in the place. Fortunately, Athena and Gata arrived on the island and immediately protected the dragon from Perseus' attack. Perseus, who feels disturbed, decides to attack them. However, because Athena said she would not interfere with Perseus' affairs, Perseus released her and began to challenge Gata to a fight. Seeing the situation getting worse, Liliana acted quickly by bringing Gata flying away from that place. After that, Liliana explained that the giant dragon appeared because Doni had destroyed a magic pillar in the Temple of Naples. The Magic Academy organization has made a mistake by choosing Doni to guard the temple, and now they must devise a plan to defeat Perseus first. But to defeat Perseus, Gata must know information about the power possessed by Perseus and how to transfer that information by kissing. Liliana, who heard this, became embarrassed because she had never kissed anyone. Shortly after, Perseus came to their place with his Pegasus and started attacking Gata. Gata still has trouble dealing with Perseus's every attack, and he activates his magic because Perseus has sealed his power. As a result, Gata suffered serious injuries before Athena came to save him. Seeing this, Perseus decided to retreat for a while until his wounds and Gata's wounds had completely healed. The next day, Gata wakes up and finds himself in the Black Bronze Cross organization house with Liliana, who has been guarding him all night. Shortly after he woke up, a girl named Karen introduced herself as a maid at the Black Bronze Cross Wizarding Academy. On the other hand, Erika and Yuri finally got news about Gata, who had just been defeated by god Perseus. Erika, who was worried, tried to contact him, but the signal at that place went wrong due to the sudden power outage. Meanwhile, Karen encourages Liliana to tempt Gata into joining the Black Bronze Wizarding Academy organization. The organization often competed with the Black Copper Cross organization and was determined to recruit the greatest people in their group. When Gata was on the balcony, he accidentally found the romantic poetry book that Liliana had written, which made her feel very embarrassed. Shortly after they went to the beach to get fresh air, Athena came in front of them. Gata asked her about the reason Perseus could seal his supernatural powers. Then, Athena promised to tell it on the condition that he had to comply with her request. However, due to his refusal, Athena decided to leave and asked them to meet her if he changed his mind. In the afternoon, Liliana gave Gata a cup of mint tea, suddenly making his body stiffen. Liliana, who had intended to do that from the start, asked Gata to rest while she went to see Athena to find information about Perseus. After Liliana met Athena and got some clues, she finally started understanding the secret of Perseus' power. At the same time, Gadu, who had been straining himself, managed to meet them before finally falling unconscious due to his weakened strength. On the other hand, Doni seems to be holding Erika and the girls hostage, so they don't help Gadu because Doni wants him to increase his strength faster. Besides that, Doni admitted that the cause of all the power outages on the island was because of his power that could bring down civilization in that place. Back to Gadu, who has recovered and is ready to attack Perseus on a stage. Perseus issued a few initial attacks that sent Gadu flying far, but Liliana managed to help him with a few kisses to channel magic energy. When Perseus was about to shoot arrows at them, Gadu had already brought him into the dimension of 1,000 golden swords. Unfortunately, Perseus was still able to put up a fight and even managed to make Liliana submit to him. When Liliana was about to attack Gadu with a fiery arrow, he kept shouting loudly, calling her name so that she would return to her senses. Fortunately, Liliana finally regained consciousness and helped Gadu to attack Perseus together, causing him to suffer severe injuries. After the fight ended, Athena immediately kissed Gadu to heal the wounds on his body before finally she killed Perseus, who was trying to escape. A few days later, Erika and Yuri came to visit Gadu, who was still recovering after the fight the other day. After some time, Gadu returned to school, and his relationship became closer with the girls, including Liliana. Even a new student named Saishuinena thought that he was the boyfriend of Erika, Yuri, and Liliana. Gadu, who heard this, immediately denied it and said they were just friends, which disappointed the girls. After school, he asked the girls to have lunch together, but Yuri and Liliana refused the invitation for no apparent reason. Apparently, they still felt sad because of his statement that they only saw them as friends, and the sadness continued for several days. Meanwhile, Erika has more opportunities to date and become closer to Gadu. One day when Gadu and Erika were on a date, Aina suddenly appeared and challenged her to a one-on-one fight. Gadu tried to stop the fight but was trapped in another dimension created by Aina's grandfather, Heya Susanoo. In that dimension, Gadu met Heya and saw the fight between Aina and Erika through the shadow of water in a pot. Seeing Erika, who was in danger, Gadu immediately took out his golden sword and asked Heya to take him to the place of the battle. Heya then said that Gadu could easily get there by imagining the position of the two girls. On the other hand, Erika seemed overwhelmed to defeat Aina because she used the power of Amano Murakumo's sword, which could scatter magic power. At the same time, Yuri gets a vision of Aina's plan, and she immediately searches for Gadu and Erika's whereabouts. Fortunately, not long after that, Gadu managed to arrive at the place and immediately fought against Aina to protect Erika. With the power of the golden sword, he could temporarily repulse Aina and immediately take Erika to a safer place. But Erika, who had lost her magic power, began to realize that she had not much time left, so she asked Gadu to kiss her. Afterward, he tried to channel his magical energy to Erika through a kiss, but it still didn't work. Finally, Gadu used his magic to embody a teenager's power and started to hug Erika. After Erika was rescued, they immediately attacked Aina together and freed Aina from the dark influence of Amano Murakumo's sword. Shortly after the battle ended, they returned to the real world thanks to Yuri and Liliana, who freed them all from Heia's created dimension. After leaving that place, Erika said that the dark power of Amano Murakumo had been absorbed by Metis, which turned out to be the source of the catastrophic destruction that had been foretold. They previously thought Athena's catastrophic destruction was a disaster in the prophecy, but it turned out that the person referred to it was actually Metis. Then, Erika and the others asked Gadu to take care of Athena because she has lost her memory because Metis has absorbed all of her power while they will fight. Unfortunately, due to the dark power of Amano Murakumo's sword, Metis became very strong and defeated them all. She then went to Gadu and Athena's place to take Athena away with her. Although Gadu had tried to put up a fight against Metis, she had succeeded in taking Athena and influencing Athena. Fortunately, Gadu and the girls could combine their strengths and work together to defeat Metis. After a fairly fierce battle, they defeated her and freed Athena from her influence. After the fight ended, Athena said goodbye to Gadu, and he returned to continue his life with beautiful girls. This is the end of the anime. This anime teaches us to forgive each other and gives them a second chance to change into better people.